So first of all, we need to get a bit of context. So this thing that's between your ears is a super machine, like an unbelievably powerful computing processor of thoughts, neurology, memories, patterns, behaviors, recognizing all the different goings on that are in the world. And it is the hub which makes you make decisions. And one of the things that is important about what you know about this is there's certain responses that happen within your brain. So there's things like dopamine, which is the chemical that drives you. You seek to get more dopamine. That's why people enjoy the fabled doom scrolling on the phone, because they're getting hit after hit of something new. The novelty of something new gives you a little dopamine hit. If you're eating, a piece of junk food that's so tasty and so good, it's giving you a little dopamine hit. If you're watching a program that's scaring you or keeping you on edge, or it's a nail biter, you're getting a dopamine hit. That's the response that's happening in your brain. So what you essentially are looking for is what are you doing to seek that out? And why do you feel motivated to take actions to get that dopamine response? Now, like anything, there's a way of getting it that's positive, which would be things like training, things like working out, things like reading a book, things like walking in nature, things like taking care of that task and getting a sense of achievement. And there's other things that are not as effective. So things like doom scrolling your phone, spending endless time in social media, watching junk TV, they all will give you the fix. Eating lots of junk food, they'll give you the same dopamine response, but they're two very, very different outcomes. So dopamine is a part of what's the wiring which makes you motivated to do things. The second thing is something called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is a weird thing because it's sort of your ability of your brain to rewire processes that you've got. So think of you tie your shoes, for instance, and you tie them in a certain way and you tie them in a certain order. And naturally, if left unattended, you would do it over and over again the same way. And the question is can you rewire that? The answer is yes, but you need to have a motivation to do it. And when you want something more out of life, what you tend to look to do is to change the current habits to a new habit that improves your results. So when you want to improve your results, generally you need to up your game. And when you're up in your game, what you're looking for is a way that you can shift, adapt, or adjust what you're doing. So it's either doing something completely new, or it's modifying something that's existing that you do that you're looking to do in a better way to get a better result. So an example would be eating. So say you want to get in better shape, you've got a holiday coming up, and you want to tighten up, you want to look good, maybe you want to put on a bit of muscle, and you decide, hey, look, I have this habit of eating, and I want to improve how I'm eating. So maybe you want to eat better quality foods. Maybe you want to shift up to have a cleaner diet. Maybe you want to eat more so that you can put on more size for muscle. And maybe you want to eat a little bit less so that you want to reduce the portion sizes so that you speed up your metabolism so you can start burning body fat. And these are shifts that you can make. So you're still doing the same thing, which is eating, but you're adjusting the habit and the way in which you do it. And when you change that shift, you need to go through the process of adjusting your neuroplasticity, which is taking something that's fixed and hardened in you, which is the habit, and then softening that up and making that plasticity, that into creating something new. The downfall for people is that they don't normally give it long enough for this process to take place. So here's an example. You ever started something, you were hot out the doors, you're like, yes. And then you begin, and then somewhere along the line, something happens and you stop. And you go, I'll get back to it. And you never do. Well, what's happened is you began the process of change, but then you don't actually see it through, which is you don't give the process of time long enough for the neuroplasticity, which is where you can shape your new habit, where you can rewire your brain. So that's another part of what goes on inside your head. And if you want to shift that, you need, just keep in mind that you need to go long enough. Give yourself the chance to go long enough. Give yourself a chance to see the benefit, see the improvement. Just like if you were on a diet, if you were on a diet for one day, your body's not going to change. But if you go on a diet for 1 month, you're likely to see some decent changes. If you're doing the right diet, you're doing enough exercise, you're going to see it shift. And if you do it long enough, what happens is you hear a lot of the 21-day rule for, to change a habit. And that's a good starting point. But the reality is that there's not a number of days to change your neuroplasticity. It's the process of allowing yourself to go into the resistance where you say, look, this is what I'm going to change it to. This is the structure I'm going to keep it in, and I'm going to do it for this length of time until I get the result, or until it becomes a new habit. And that is the power of the little part of your brain called neuroplasticity, and it's in creating new habits.